Book 3 of Mere Christianity is titled Human Behavior, and chapter 4, which we will talk about today, is on morality and psychoanalysis. So let's take a look here at this chapter. One thing to keep in mind as you read chapter 4 is that when Lewis uses the term psychoanalysis, he's really just referring to psychology. It's important to keep this in mind because one person who's been widely connected or very connected with psychoanalysis is Sigmund Freud. And when Lewis talks about psychoanalysis, he's not referring to Freud, but just psychology in general. Lewis will refer to. So psychoanalysis basically means psychology. So kind of keep that in mind as you go through chapter 4. We have a picture here of a guy. This TV show was on for a number of years in recent years called Monk. Some of you guys may have seen it. It's, if you don't know already, without giving the show away, the main character here, Monk, he has OCD, in other words, obsessive compulsive disorder. And so that's something that could fall under the realm of psychology. So those things that affect the way we think, which affect how we behave. So if you haven't seen Monk, it's a good show. Maybe something to watch. Psychoanalysis, the definition according to Oxford Advanced Learner's Dictionary, is the scientific study of the mind and how it influences behavior. So again, going back to Monk, his OCD, which causes him to kind of be super careful about everything he does and thinking way too much about things, that really slows him down and affects his behavior. It causes him to not quite act normally in different social situations where he's so obsessed about thinking about certain things need to be arranged a certain way. And there's other ways people may have OCD as well. But other topics that relate to psychology are mental health, which OCD falls in that realm, and emotional health. So again, as you read through chapter 4, just keep in mind that psychoanalysis, Lewis is just referring to as psychology. One of the topics that Lewis gets into is human behavior includes both morality and psychology. So, for example, a person who faces psychological problems may have more trouble than the average person of being moral or doing the right thing. So Lewis is going to just look at morality and psychology and just see how both of those things play a role in the way we think about the world and the way we act. One last thing I wanted to say about morality and psychology. Again, our psychology plays a role in in our moral life. It can make it more difficult or easier to do certain things. So an example is, let's say a person is hurt by the way one of their parents has treated him. Maybe their parent was verbally abusive or emotionally abusive or physically abusive to the child. The child may have developed depression, have a more difficult time of learning how to treat other people as a result. So this psychological problem that developed over time may, again, make it more difficult for this person to do the right thing at times. So that's the main point that Lewis is getting into in this chapter, is our psychology plays a role in our moral development and how and what we do with on the moral decisions we make in life. So again, chapter 4 is about morality and psychoanalysis and just those connections between the two. So enjoy chapter 4.